Welcome to Black Mountain Stories Preview Shorts. These are short fantasy and science fiction tales built around new worlds, strange magic, lost kingdoms, forgotten wars, and characters who may have much larger stories waiting for them. If you enjoy this one and want to hear what happens next, comment below. If enough people want more, we can turn this short into a full story. Now let's begin.
The Baron held court in the lower hall because the upper solar still smelled of smoke. 3 weeks had passed since the last raid, but smoke stayed where men did not want it. It clung to rafters, wool hangings, old rushes, the seams between stones. It lived in the mortar now. Every time the western doors opened, a draft dragged the smell down from the beams and laid it across the hall like a hand over a mouth. Mara stood beneath it in her field coat, with mud dried pale around the hem and a sword at her hip she had not drawn in 9 days. That was the longest peace she had known since winter. At the far end of the hall, Baron Edric Caraway sat in the high-backed chair his grandfather had taken from a defeated neighbor. He had never called it a throne. Men with sense did not make jokes in stone halls where titles mattered. His right arm was bound from wrist to elbow, and 2 fingers showed black at the nails where a goblin hook had found him through his gauntlet. His beard had been trimmed for court, but the barber had missed a scorch mark under his jaw. He looked older than he had before the war, so did everyone. The steward read names from a slate: oxen owed, roof timber granted. 3 widows confirmed in their husbands' strips until harvest, a miller fined for watering flour, a boy given 6 lashes for stealing lamp oil from the chapel store, 2 men ordered to repair the north sheep wall before rain. Normal troubles, blessed troubles. Mara listened and counted the hall wards out of habit. South pillar, intact. Hearth lintel, cracked but holding. Door stone, weak at the 3rd stroke. Granary mark beneath the steward's table, overfed, ugly, still useful. Master Pell would have cuffed her ear for leaving a mark that swollen. Master Pell was dead, so the mark remained. At last the steward called, Mara Ven called Spellhand, sworn in household service these 8 years. A few heads turned, not many. Most had already been waiting for her. She crossed the floor. Her boots struck the flagstones too loudly. Court shoes would have been better, she owned none. Her field coat still bore the Caraway badge on the left breast, a black tower over 3 sheaves, though the stitching had been burned through one corner. She stopped below the dais and bent her knee. "My lord." "Stand," Baron Caraway said. "You have knelt enough in my service." That made a small sound move through the hall. Approval from some, irritation from others. The household knights stood along the wall in polished mail and good belts, men born knowing where to put their hands in court. Mara kept hers at her sides because if she folded them, she would look like a servant. If she rested one on her sword, she would look like she expected trouble. The Baron studied her with his good hand resting on the arm of the chair. "You were sworn under my seal in the 9th year of my holding," he said. "Taken first under Master Pell for the work of wards, wells, grain, and fire. After the Ashford quarrel became open war, you served in field and saddle. You held Southgate during the Red Barley Raid. You closed the breach at Ellish Dyke. You carried my son out of the ditch at Harrowmere with 2 arrows in your own back." "1 arrow, my lord," Mara said. The steward blinked. The Baron's mouth twitched. "The second tore your coat." "Then I would not claim it." A few men laughed. The Baron let them. Then he lifted his injured hand slightly and silence returned. "You served 8 years without desertion, theft, oath-breaking, or cowardice laid against you. 3 witnesses have spoken to it. Sir Henrik, old Pell's apprentice ledger, my own eyes." His gaze sharpened. "Do you contest any part of that record?" "No, my lord." "Then I release you from household obligation. Save those debts all free folk owe under law, road, and crown." The words landed strangely. Mara had known they were coming. She had counted toward them through 2 winters, 4 harvests, 11 sieges if one counted Sedge Tower, which no one with pride should count. She had imagined the release as a door opening. Instead, it felt like a strap cut loose while she was still riding. The steward brought the little oak coffer forward. Its brass fittings had been polished until they shone. Everyone knew what was in it. A purse, a small one, not insulting but not foolish. Silver pennies, maybe a ring, maybe a writ for cottage rights near the East Road. Caraway was not a rich baron, but he knew how to pay without making the payment look like wages. The baron did not open the coffer. For faithful service, he said, a boon is owed. Ask within reason and within my power. There it was. Mara felt half the hall lean toward her. Ask for land, their silence said. Ask for a cottage near the mill. Ask for a gelding. Ask for a place under the new wizard when one is found. Ask for marriage silver. Ask for a tower room. Ask for the right to keep your jars unnumbered. Ask for a life a sane woman could live. She looked at the coffer, then passed it. My lord, I ask for a letter. The baron did not move. A letter. Yes, my lord. To whom? The Royal Academy at Verhold. Now the hall truly stirred. Sir Henrik, who had once watched her boil rainwater inside a man's helmet because the fool had ridden 3 days fevered and refused to stop, muttered something under his breath. Lady Caraway sat straighter in her chair beside the dais. The steward's stylus hovered over his slate. The baron's eyes narrowed, not in anger yet. You ask me for ink. I ask for your hand and seal. For what purpose? So they will read my petition before throwing it in the common fire. That won no laughter. Baron Caraway looked at her field coat, her sword, the old burn scar that climbed from her collar and vanished behind her left ear. The academy does not train hedge girls because barons grow sentimental. I was not trained in a hedge, my lord. I was trained in your tower. My tower has 3 dry rooms, a leaky roof, and 1 dead wizard's books. And his books were better than no books. The baron tapped 1 finger against the chair arm. It was a slow sound. Wood, nail, you could have asked for land. I would not know how to hold it. You could learn. I learned enough things I did not know how to do. That is my argument, not yours. Mara said nothing. The baron leaned back, pain crossed his face and vanished. You have a place here. I know. Do you? His voice hardened. Because many would trade blood for what you are walking past. I can give you cottage right. I can give you a place in the household. When we secure another wizard, you could serve under him. If no better presents, you could serve in his stead until the boy from Marrowmere is grown. You would have bread, roof, protection, and work suited to your hand. Work suited to the barony. His eyes flashed. You speak as though that is a small thing. No, my lord. Then speak as though you know it. She felt the rebuke land. It was fair, that made it worse. Mara looked away from the dais and toward the hearth. The fire had been laid carefully, small and hot, with ash banked high along the sides. A winter fire, efficient, controlled. The hearth ward above it bore one of her own corrections, cut after the old mark failed during the first year of war and sent sparks crawling along the rushes like red ants. She had been 17 then, terrified, proud when Master Pell grunted and did not scrape her work away. There is a ward above your hearth, she said. The baron's brows drew together. I know my own hall. It was made to keep sparks from the rushes. Master Pell taught me the base figure. I widened the lower catch after the first failure. This is not a lesson hall, Mara. No, my lord. It is the first place I learned that a fire break can be turned inward. Silence took the room by the throat. Sir Henrik stopped leaning against the wall. Mara kept her eyes on the hearth. At Elish Dyke, when Lord Varen's men pushed through the east barn, I used the same lower catch, changed the mouth, reversed the mercy stroke. It held the heat inside instead of out. No one spoke. I have used grain charms to spoil stores, mending marks to close wounds and bind wrists, boundary strokes to pen men in mud, a wash rune meant for fever cloth to strip oil off shields so fire would take them cleaner. She looked back at the Baron. All useful, all lawful enough when banners are raised and witnesses agree whose ditch is whose. The Baron's face had gone still. I am not ashamed of service, she said. Do not mistake me. Men came against your walls, I answered. I would answer again if I had sworn to it. But I have spent 8 years asking what a working can do in rain, blood, smoke, panic, and bad light. I know what magic does when men are trying to live long enough to kill each other. And now you want pretty books. No, the word came too sharp. She made herself lower her voice. I want the rest of the question. The Baron watched her. Mara drew a breath. Master Pell taught me how to keep fire from running. War taught me how to make it stay where men scream. Somewhere between those two things is the true grammar of the mark. I do not know it. I know use. I know pressure. I know what breaks when a jar is drawn too hard and what kind of ward survives cavalry. But I do not know why a river charm laid by a woman with no letters can outlast a chapel seal. I do not know why orc collars can pull heat from stone without a written vessel. I do not know why goblin knots hold when they should not. I do not know why some children see boundary light before they can read their own names. Her throat had gone dry. She hated that. It made the words sound like pleading. I want to know, my lord. Lady Caraway's expression had softened by a fraction. The Baron's had not. He said, the Academy will not love you. I did not ask for love. They will hear your accent before your argument. Then I will argue twice. They will see a common woman in a field coat carrying baronial jars and think I sent them a useful animal. Mara's jaw tightened. The Baron saw it, of course he did. He had not held his lands by missing the first twitch before a blade came free. That anger will not help you there, he said. It has helped me elsewhere. Elsewhere men were trying to split your skull. And some of the Academy will be gentler when they try it. A colder smile touched his mouth. Perhaps you have learned enough after all. The steward looked horrified. Lady Caraway did not. The Baron stood. It cost him. Everyone saw it, which meant everyone pretended not to. He came down the 3 steps from the dais and stopped before Mara. He was not a tall man, but rank did some of height's work for it. You understand what you ask, he said quietly. Yes, my lord. No, I doubt that. You understand letters and gates and masters. You do not understand courts. My seal opens one door and closes others. There are men in Verhold who dislike me. There are men who owe me. There are men who will look at you and see my hand moving where it has no right. If you fail, it will be your failure. If you offend, it will be my insult. If you succeed, half of them will say I hid a blade in their library. Then write that I am dull. I will not lie in recommendation. I have heard you lie in counsel. That was diplomacy. It sounded easier. This time the hall did laugh, though carefully. The Baron's eyes warmed for the first time, not kindly, worse, personally. You are wasted here, he said. Mara did not answer. His face closed again as if he regretted giving the words shape. You know I could refuse. Yes, my lord. And if I did, I would ask what fault remained in my service. That struck him, she saw it. The old feudal lock turning, service given, boon owed. Honor trapped him where affection might not have, he almost smiled. Pell made a lawyer of you. Pell made me copy tax wards for 3 summers. Same disease. The Baron looked toward the steward. Bring ink. The old man hesitated. My lord, the petition forms. Not a form, my hand. That sent a murmur through the hall sharper than her request had. The steward hurried. Mara stood very still while a small table was brought, then parchment, then the Baron's writing box. Lord Caraway sat not on the dais but at the table below it among them all and took the quill awkwardly in his injured hand before thinking better and using his left. He wrote slowly. Mara did not try to read upside down. That would have been rude and worse, obvious. The room waded through every scratch. When he finished, he sanded the sheet, shook it once and pressed his seal into black wax. Not red, black, house business, not war command. Then he folded it and held it out. Mara took it with both hands. The parchment was still warm from the wax. "If they admit you," he said, "learn properly." "I mean to." "No," his voice cut softer than shouting. "Learn better than they expect. Learn enough that when some silk-blooded master tries to use you as proof that field women can be polished into obedience, you make him regret the experiment." Mara looked up. The Baron's expression gave nothing back. "And if they refuse you," he said, "come home before winter. I will not hold your place forever, but I will not see Pell's student freezing in a ditch for pride." Home, the word did not strike where it should have. Or maybe it did, and she had no room to bend around it. "I thank you, my lord." "Do not thank me yet. Verhold eats clever people. It chokes on stubborn ones. Decide which you are before you pass the gate." She tucked the letter inside her coat, beneath the burned Caraway badge. "I have been both." "Yes," Baron Caraway said. "That is why I am worried." For a moment the hall was only fire crackle, wool rustle, old smoke, and the small living hum of wards doing their work badly but faithfully. Then Mara bowed, not as low as a servant, not as stiffly as a soldier, deep enough for 8 years. When she straightened, the Baron had already turned away, calling the next name from the steward's slate as if nothing in the world had shifted. But Mara felt the letter under her coat with every breath. It did not feel like freedom, not yet. It felt like a door with teeth.